this GOT dub sucked. I mean, it was bad.
What happened? Alan, you hadn't scored below 90, I think, all year, and then you go and have a 59-point game. Maybe you should stop starting Kevin Kolb.
Remember that chart that I showed you last week where your quarterbacks go like this? You just went below the x-axis. That's a bad thing.
LaShawn McCoy is doing well, but Darren Sproles, not so much. If the Patriots can't put up the numbers, Allen's team doesn't put up the numbers.
We already know it. We've seen it. And it's really rearing its despicably ugly head now. Quarterbacks are going to kill Allen. On the other side, BG, man, not cool.
Aaron Rodgers, 24 points. The rest of his team, his kicker gets 14. Nobody else is above that.
Not cool.
You need some depth, buddy.
Remember when I said that whole thing about, franchise quarterback's amazing, but you got to have more, and then you were so offended by it you had to put a retort on the message board there? This is what I was talking about there, dude. Yeah, okay, you're saying something in your head now about how I'm 1-4. Thanks. Appreciate that. Didn't realize.
I think it's worth pointing out the coaching error on Allen's part. Kevin Kolb, -2. Your other quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, 40. Yeah, that's a pretty big whoops there.
40. No, that makes sense. I'll be honest with you. I've not paid attention to the NFL at all this week. It's been all baseball all the time. Very concerned about the Brewers and just watching every minute that I can of postseason baseball. So I vote we forgo around the NFL this week. I'll hit it up next week.
I don't have much to report on that front either, other than the running back situation in San Diego being a little interesting because of Ryan Matthews' injury, but they're on a bye week, so I think he'll be healthy by the time that they play again.
Really, the big news out of the DFL this week is the blockbuster trade of Cam Newton for Roddy White. I guess we've had real blockbuster trades. I'm going to classify this a couple steps below blockbuster, but it's really a tier 1 trade to have two players of this caliber go. I think I made this trade knowing that from a strict point standpoint, Jesse probably comes out on top because quarterback versus wide receiver, you're gonna have that. But I'm thinking about my wide receiving core, and I'm thinking about just leveling out my team.
I think it was a really big win-win trade.
Mm-hmm.
Steve's receiving core needed some bolstering, and Cam Newton's lowest scoring week is the average scoring week for Phillip Rivers. So I think we both really benefited from the trade.
My thought coming out of this trade is it's really strictly numbers standpoint. I'm thinking now between when I bolstered my running back core and got Beanie Wells, through my other trade, I've got a quarterback, I think, playing the matchup game with Vic and Romo. I can pretty much look at getting about 15 to 20 points out of my quarterback every week. So we'll say about 17 points out of your quarterback. I think between my two running backs, I'll baseline out at about 30 points between the two of them. And then if I can get 35 points out of my wide receivers, before you go into your kicker and your defense, you're talking 80 points there. So that's what you're looking for. That's the way you consistently put up 100 points, and hopefully that's the way that I claw my way out of this 1-4 hole that I'm in right now. It is circulating around the rumor mill right now that Devin is actually in trade negotiations to upgrade his wide receiving core. We'll have to follow some sources closely to see what pans out from there, but he's already got Calvin Johnson, Reggie Wayne, and Steve Smith. We'll see if what he thinks could be really improving on guys of that caliber. So week 6 has got a couple of really crappy games and some really good games. Let's get into it. There's 2 games that are in strict contention for horrible of the week, baddie of the week. Larry Fitzgerald has a bye week, and Hedgie's playing Allen. I don't anticipate Allen putting up 59 points again. Ergo, this game should suck. It's pretty simple. Allen is better than Hedgie in almost every possible way, except Hedgie's awesome franchise tag, Eli Manning. Other than that, down the board, everything you can do, I can do better. Chortles Allen from a distance.
You're a chortler.
He is a chortler. Oh, you're not catching 3 touchdowns a game anymore, Rob Gronkowski? Okay, I'll just put in Dez Bryant, says Allen. Even the one place ESPN.com gives the edge to Hedgie defense, I really think that the Lions have a better fantasy defense than the Steelers. So, that's all I got on that one.
Hedgie has put up some pretty good numbers this year, especially when you're talking relative to his other seasons, but it's not going to happen this week. If Allen loses this game, I will rejoice. There will be much rejoicing, but it won't happen.
The next stink burger in the crap parade is between... Would you stop it?
That sounds delicious.
Anyway, the next sphincter game happens between Jared and Mike. Mike, what's going on there, huh? I gave you Drew Brees thinking you'd take good care of him. You had his jersey after all. But this is what you're doing, huh? I mean, you do have one more win than me, so you must be doing something right, but let's face it, I suck right now, so it's like saying you're the smartest kid on the short bus. Congrats.
I think it's important to point out that Mike, he's been fairly consistent. He's sitting pretty close to the 80-point average, which is actually lower than the DFL average, but at least his team isn't all over the place. Jared's gone from 40 points to 115-ish in 1 week. The only person to do that better than that is Kevin. So
don't say that name around me again. It's a pretty evenly matched game as it stands. Both of these teams, super high ceiling, super low basement. I don't know what to expect out of it. You could see a blowout either way, or you could see just a crap fest from both teams, and maybe a repeat of that 41-40 game from week 1 between Kevin and Hedgie. I still am just at a complete loss trying to figure out what's going on with what should be Jared's super-powered running back core. I don't understand it. But Jared's wide receiving core is so horrible that only Mike's could look worse. Because Jared on his best day definitely beats Mike on his best day. However, Mike on his average day obliterates Jared on his average day. So I have to go with Mike on that.
Yeah, I'm going to give the nod to Mike as well. He has stronger players in the categories that matter most. So I think in the end, Mike is going to pull it out. That would send Jared to 1-5, which is not good for him in that division.
Yeah, that would be bad. By the way, Jared, if when this airs you have Tim Tebow on your team, I will find you, and I will kill you. Isn't there a law against cruel and unusual punishment in our great nation, Jesse?
There was.
Okay. Here's the deal. I submit to you that it is cruel and unusual punishment when I am favored to lose against Justin. Then Jarvis Green Ellis, man, week to week, who knows what's coming out of that one. Scott Chandler, another one.
You know, I'm looking at Justin's team. For the first time, I'm looking at it closely. And it's really just a list of no-name mediocrity.
Mm-hmm. It's a house of cards.
I'm looking at his 3-2 record and realizing that that's Tom Brady. Because the rest of it, I mean, Eli's been doing alright throwing at Hakeem Nick. Really close average score between the two teams. Really close. 4 weeks out of the 5 weeks that we've played so far, these two teams have been separated by less than 10 points.
I mean, I don't know whether to laugh or cry, but this is... Oh gosh, you hate to say this stuff, week 6, but this game is probably my season.
I don't know. With Hedgie being below you, I think you still have a shot at the playoffs.
3 teams make the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
But if you win and I lose, that puts me 3 games back of the 3rd place guy going into week 6. That's a problem. A significant problem. I don't know. This is a tough game to call. I hate calling games that I'm in because you can't dislodge your heartstrings from the game enough to feel like you have any sort of objective pull.
Looking at this game from an objective standpoint, I like Steve's team better. Ray Rice is a known factor. He puts up the numbers. Steve's receiving core is vastly superior with the addition of Roddy White. I think that's going to make a big difference, especially in this game. ESPN thinks Justin will win. You know, outside of Tom Brady, I think Steve is going to upset the predictions on this one and